Hi, I'm Alicia. I'm the contributing writer and music manager at the In Crowd. So I'm just going to talk to you about your new EP that's coming out on Friday, if I'm correct.
Yep.
So it might be already out by the time this interview is posted. But it's called Nothing Ever After. So if you kind of want to just give a brief overview of like your inspiration behind the EP, what you're hoping people take away from it, anything you're really excited about, anything like that.
Yeah, so this EP, this is my first kind of really big project that I've worked on. It's 5 tracks, and I don't know, I think it's a really big part of who I am, and especially in the time that I was at in my life where I really needed I really needed something, and Nothing Ever After is kind of about it's about a story about somebody who's given up. For me, it's my story. I went through a really rough year last year, and now the past couple years for myself have been really rough. So I've went through a lot of challenges in life, and have found myself at rock bottom a couple times. So it's really about somebody who's giving up and in that war between their selves and then their mind. The one thing I really hope people take away from this is that there are millions of people in the world who are going through who different type of things, who have different types of stories, but it doesn't really matter because everybody's story means everybody's story matters, whether it's greater or smaller. I think it's important to take away the fact that you're not alone. I think that's any given. I know everybody says that, but somebody who's going through something may not necessarily feel that way, but they can look at other people and they can see like somebody like myself who has gone through all of these things and who still currently goes through things that, hey, like, even though he went through this or is going through this, look what he's doing. I hope that inspires somebody to get up and chase their dreams.
Awesome. And I forgot, just in case people don't know, your name is Luke Middleton. Is that how you say
Yeah, yeah,
it? Okay.
yeah.
And so you gained some following on social media and TikTok and everything like that. What has that been like seeing like people follow you and support you on social media and stream your music and everything like that?
I've only been doing music for 2 years, especially coming from a military background. I started making music while I was in the military. So in the past 2 years have, my life's drastically changed. I hit rock bottom a couple times and, there's things I still struggle with from when it comes to my time in the service. But like I said, like music's therapy to me, and it's even more fun when you're in love with it. So music helps me, and the fact that other people are noticing that, and that I'm able to do this for other people, it motivates me even more, and it helps me feel a sense of purpose in my life. And so I'm just super grateful for the people who have started with me from the beginning, and for all the new people that are coming. Like, I'm just super grateful and kind of overwhelmed with it. It's a big deal to me in my life, especially with the things that I've gone through and have been through. But to where I am now, I look back and I'm very thankful for those times, and I'm so appreciative of everybody who supported me up to this point.
Awesome. So I did have a chance to listen to the EP a little early, and listening to it, there is a consistent sound, but some songs are a little heavier, and some songs feel a bit more like on the pop punk side. Who were your biggest inspirations when crafting the songs on the EP?
Yeah, so I got a lot of. I would say I have a couple of inspirations. For the past year, I'll go back to my day one. My day one all time favorite artist is Bon Iver. He's indie folk. He's like, you go out in Oregon State up in the mountains, play
Mhm.
acoustic guitar. I love that kind of music. It's very emotional, and I resonated with it very heavily. And then obviously in my time in the service, I got introduced to Youngblood, all the modern day rock, Bring Me the Horizon, even Avenged Sevenfold, and all the heavier stuff back in the day. But um, I was on my couch one day after having an anxiety attack, and I talked about this in an earlier interview I did this past week, but I won't go too far into detail with it. But it was one of those moments in my life where I didn't know if I could continue it any longer. And I came across Tell Me About Tomorrow by Jaden Hossler, that pop punk acoustic type rock. mix, and that song saved my life. So at that point, it was like I fell in love with that kind of music so fast, and over that song filled a void in my heart, and I knew at that point like somebody or God was telling me like, hey, this is what you can do to share your story. So Jaden Hosser is definitely an inspiration of mine. Bon Iver, Youngblood, those kind of artists. But when it came to this EP, I've always found myself loving the heavier side more than the pop punk side because pop punk was a wave, and now that it's kind of coming down a little bit, I want to transition myself into more of the pop rock scene. So I don't know. I feel like I'd have fun with this EP, and just whatever I was able to create emotion wise is kind of what I wanted to put out. So yeah, it starts off kind of pop punky, and then at the end it's just super heavy. And I think that the diversity in that point is kind of important, especially when it comes to life's highs and lows.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely you hear the different influences. I was listening through, I could tell like some songs definitely lean more into the pop punk, but by the end, it's definitely you can feel the heavier influences coming in. So do you plan on in the future leaning more towards that way, or do you still maybe want to sprinkle in some of the other pop punk influences? You mentioned going more pop rock, so is that in the more direction you're more leaning towards for future music?
Yes. So yeah, definitely going the pop rock route. I like pop punk music. It's really cool, but I started off with that, and I kind of quickly realized that I love it, but it's just not me. So alternative rock music is myself,
Mhm.
but I still want to be in that pop range. So the new pop rock, and even some heavier stuff I'll sprinkle in there some more. But yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Listening to the EP, you definitely opened up and get personal. Was it hard to kind of dig deep and write from your personal experiences, or was it more therapeutic, or was it a mix of both?
Yeah, it was very cathartic for me, because when it comes to my music, like I said, music is my therapy. It's easier to write music, and it's easier to do songs than talking to my own therapist,
Mhm.
because it's myself, and it's my hand and my pen, and to my paper it's my story. So the fact that I'm able to get all of these things out of my mind and off my chest and onto a piece of paper, and for me to be able to sing that and to put that out to the world, it kind of gives me a sense of strength for myself that, hey, like I can do this and I can get through this. So it's a very emotional, cathartic process for sure. Sometimes it gets a little hard because of how emotional I get. Sometimes there's so much inside that I can't fully get out all the way I want it to. So I do hit writer's block sometimes because it frustrates me. But when it comes to my lyrics and my songs, everything that I write down or that comes out of me is pure emotion, and it comes straight from my heart.
Do you have a favorite song on the EP, or one you're most proud of?
That's a hard one. So I really like Bones and Care. Oh God, I'm stuck between three. It's Where Are My Friends, Bones, and Kerosene. I feel like Bones and Kerosene are more like a part one and part two. They both go really, really deep into the lyrics. But Where Are My Friends, I think that's the most funnest song that I did with Nathan. And the whole process of doing that song. We started that song in October of 2022. Like, he sent me a voice memo of his idea for that song in 2022. I was like, dude, we got to do this. So I think Where Are My Friends is probably my most favorite, but Kerosene and Bones are definitely right behind that.
Um, yeah, I think Where Are My Friends was my favorite, but Kerosene was right up there with me when I was listening to it as well.
Thank you.
You have worked with Tosh, who drummed with MGK, and Jaden before. What was, first of all, what was that experience like working with them? And I believe it was on one of your other previous releases when you worked with him.
Yeah.
Okay. What was that experience like? And how did you guys get connected?
Tosh is a really cool dude. I hit him up about it, and we clicked so fast and super easy. It was a super easy process. He got the drum stems over to me so quick. I was like, all right, I guess we're rocking and rolling. But the song did take like 10 months. So he had to wait a while for the song to come out. So he got it done really, really early.
Mhm.
But Tosh is a really cool guy, super nice. How I got to know him through mutual friends. I have friends that are friends with him, and through them, I was able to get connected. But again, I just hit him up, and that's one thing, upcoming artists can take
Mhm.
from experience. Like, we're all human. I think it's important to not be afraid to just hit up somebody and be like, hey, would you like to work together? Would you like to collab? I mean, this is our everyday job, and there comes with a price. But if you love music, you just got to put yourself out there, and the only way you're going to do that is if you reach out to people. So
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. You never know what could happen just sending out like that one DM and things could go really fast. It never hurts to reach out for sure.
yeah.
Um, so is there any other artists or dream collabs you would like on your list of like if I could work with this band or this person, who would you want to work with?
I'm gonna go. I just say it like it would be Jaden. Yeah, for sure. It'll be Jaden. Yeah. I say that to everybody, and they're probably like, "Oh my God, he's such a fangirl." No, I feel like I met him in April actually, and I had a conversation with him. He was super nice and just a genuine, down to earth person. But you know, he like his song's the reason why I'm still here today, and I feel like I relate to him so much as a person, and from the things that he's gone through, as well as myself. And it's inspiring because I see a lot of myself in him emotionally, in the way that he goes about life and how much he loves music so much, and he does use music as a therapy. And that's inspiring to me because when I was going through what I was going through and I heard that song, I was like, damn, like if somebody can go through so much and use music as a tool to not only help yourself but help others, that's what I want to do. So it would definitely be Jaden. I think he's a really cool guy, and I think with our creativity and our emotions, I think we'd create something really cool.
Awesome. Um, so this last question, if you had to sum up, I guess you already kind of did that, your EP in just a couple words, or your music or anything about you as an artist, for people who've never heard you before, what would those couple words be?
I would say I'm just like you. I know that sounds kind of weird, but at the end of the day, I'm somebody who goes through it all. I have anxiety, I have depression. I go through it every single day, and it's something I still struggle with. So when it comes to somebody getting to know me, I don't want to put myself up on a pedestal. I want, the listener to understand and be like, hey, I'm right here with you guys. Like, I don't want you to feel alone because I'm going through it too. But I'm doing kind of this for all of us. So putting myself out there in the sense of, hey, like my music, I'm doing this for like all of us. Like, we're gonna get through all of this together. I think that's important for listeners to know, like, hey, it's all right, but I'm right here with you guys. So
Awesome. Where can people follow you on social media, or where can they find any updates about anything you're working on or upcoming releases, or where can they stream the EP? Any kind of things you want to shout out, go ahead.
sure, thank you. If you want to find me, my website is lukemiddletonmusic.com. And from there, it's got my social media platforms, my music platforms. It's got my bio, my merch, site, pictures, all kinds of fun stuff. So that's kind of like the center of all my social platforms. So if anybody wants to follow me in my journey, you can follow me on Instagram through there or check out my music.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
No problem. Bye.
Bye.